Welcome, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Queen Vi's Reality Talk. I am your host, Queen Vi, alongside my co-host, Mr. Hakim BornJust. How are you
Hey,
doing
hey, hey,
today?
hey, you got it. Okay. Peace, Queen. Ain't
It's
calling me that old guy's name no more.
no. We have to respect titles, especially when you're living in your truth and you living to what that name is. We gonna call it like it is.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I appreciate that. I really do.
No,
I'm not that guy
nope,
anymore.
no.
He, Dead and stinking like Elmo Jenkins always said.
You got it. I mean, sometimes we have to be born again. Sometimes we have to grow. We have to shed the old skin and the old ways and, you know, start fresh. You
Yeah,
know,
that is a part of life. It's super important to do that, so you can grow. Sometimes you gotta take those. What they say, 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. Yeah, you gotta take 10 steps back for that big jump.
right?
That's just the way it is.
Mhm.
Yep.
I completely agree. So
Yep. So
that's
how's your
kind
day?
of long. I've been having very long days. This is my second week, like longer than usual. And it's like boom, boom, boom. But um, it's gonna be worth it in the end. And so that's how I'm just looking at it. Is you know, sometimes you're gonna lose sleep. So at one point you could just chill and be comfortable, and you'll be able to rest all you want. So I'm gonna look at the positive side of it. But whew,
Yeah.
I'm not ready for this
That's
cold though.
I'm feeling it in my bones, as the old people say.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just like it gets a little bit warmer, but it's just I just feel like this is like the calm before the storm. We've been getting a little snow here and there. I don't know about you guys.
Yes, we did. We definitely
Okay.
did. It was only one day for maybe a couple hours. Wasn't even a full thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely got it.
Yeah, we got 2 days of it, and it didn't stick. It's just enough to cause an inconvenience. But that's what snow likes to do. But yeah, I was like, oh boy, because when it started, I was out in it. I was like, couldn't wait till I got home. But whatever. So,
Well, I'm
but
glad you
hey,
was able to get home safely.
yeah, I like to stay out of it. But 'cause the nuts because when it started raining and snowing and people just get crazier on the road and it's just like they're ass backwards. Like you're supposed to be drive more slowly, safe, cautious, but no, especially when you off on these highways. Forget about it.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, man.
mm,
I
how
definitely
else?
understand that.
Yeah. And so how's the weather and everything treating you? I know you said you're feeling in your bones, but are you ready
It's
for that snap?
no, I'm not. I'm not even gonna say in front. No, I'm not. I'm going to get ready, but them couple nights that hit like 20 something. Yeah, man. I was like, I'm feeling this shit. Knees, hips, ass, everything hurt.
I'm telling you, when you wake up and your body aching, it's raining outside, snowing outside, or it's cold as hell.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes all three. But
Yep.
let's see.
But yeah, man. It is what it is. We'll figure it out.
Wait. So, ready for tonight's show?
Yeah, let's go.
Yes,
Let's
we're going to be talking about the healing factor. We're talking about healing. You know, healing is something that we all should go through. Some people may think they have nothing to heal from, but it's a journey, it's one's journey, to become better. When you heal, you become a better you. You become more conscious, you become more aware, you become, you know, more stress free, your safe space, your triggers, like you learn more about you and why you feel the way you feel and it helps you overcome those things because you always got to know the history of something to know why things are in the way they are in the present and to change or better the future if needed. And so,
Very true. Very true. You know,
um,
healing
you
is
know,
much needed in today's society.
hmm
You know, needed big
you
time
know,
because our people are going through some shit. The world is going through some shit. Let's keep it a bean.
hmm
You know, everybody is going through something. A big something, little something, but it's always something.
right. And what I always tell people, their journey is their journey. You can't compare your journey to someone else's. Um, your your triggers, your issues, your life in general to anybody else's because everybody has different factors, whether it's upbringing, financial status, social status, just health issues. Everybody is different. So even if on the outside it may look like somebody's going through what you're going through, but you don't know their backstory. So you're going to do things on your time. What may work for you may not work for someone else. Not saying that you can't, have that conversation with someone, or not saying that you can't, um, give people advice or be there for them. But that's just what it is. It's advice. It's a crying shoulder, an open ear, you know, advice because it may help them. It may work for them. It may not, because
Right.
everybody is different, you know.
Exactly.
So,
Very true. Um, and to that point of everyone being different, we have to be mindful of those differences because you you could be trying to help someone and their issues and their problems and their ailments or whatever's bothering them could be unique. You can't. There's no one size fit all. So the listening component is important,
hmm
right? You have to be paying attention to what they're telling you about what they're going through, so you could be as helpful as possible. You can't help everybody. You can't heal everybody, but you can do your best to be as helpful as possible because some people could actually, benefit from it. Everybody needs a friend. Everybody needs that shoulder to lean on, cry on, vent to, and you have to. The listening part is important.
yes, because sometimes people just want to be heard. You know, they want to be heard. They want to be understood. Um, everybody, like Hakim said, everybody has their own stuff going on. You never know what somebody is going through. But people also need to know if you're going to assume that role to be there for someone, then understand that the way that you may be trying to be there for them may not necessarily be the way that they need you to be there for them. Or if you're going to take that role to be that listening ear, then sometimes they just need you to listen. They don't need anything else from you. They don't need the I told you so's or if that was me or any of that. Um, and you also, last and but not least, you need to know you have to be their safe space. They have to be able to trust you to open up to you because when you're in this space where you need healing and as you go through this journey, you're going to be very vulnerable. So nobody wants. It's hard for people to be vulnerable. So when they choose you to be vulnerable with, then they have to feel safe. They have to feel that they can speak openly and freely, um, without the fear of being judged or having it thrown back, later in life, to them. So just it's a big responsibility. So I just want people to just keep in mind because this is not an overnight healing. Is not an overnight thing. It's a lot of digging and unpacking and gathering and some tears, some sleepless nights, some days. So you probably don't want to do nothing but sleep. It might be that phone call, that text when somebody's needing you, like or you need somebody late at night. It's a process. It's exactly what it's called, a journey. You know, when you say a trip from Jersey to PA, when you say a light job, this is a journey. It's going to take a while. Some people are on this healing journey for the rest of their lives once they do it because it's always going to be triggers. It's always probably going to be um, something that happens where you got to take a step back because you don't know whether you're fully healed from something until you're put in that space where you have to use those tools that you learned, or when something happens and it doesn't affect you as much or it doesn't affect you at all. Hakim, I'm rant.
No, I'm over here banging the tambourines for you. It's definitely a responsibility.
Hmm.
Now right now, especially when we're on the help side of healing, because there is that external resource, someone coming into your life or trying to be a part of your life to help you heal. And then there is the internal, that is you doing the work yourself, you going through the journey, the process. And it's important for us to be able to understand what roles we play in this. Personal responsibility is so important with the healing factor. Because some of you are hurt from something that was done to you, and you don't understand that it was done to you because you allowed it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then the other side of it is sometimes if the person who's hurting and is on their healing journey and they're reaching out to you to help and you're blowing them off and you playing around and you taking this as a joke and you're being overly critical at a crucial time, yeah, all that stuff plays a part. Your
Right.
responsibility is to the healing, not your get your personal shit off, your personal vendetta, or you got to pass judgment on this person.
Hmm.
And I'm speaking from experience because I've done that. I've had friends and people, close to me. I took what I don't get me wrong. I took what they were saying serious. I knew it was serious, but when I don't like being I told you so, but sometimes you gotta tell a motherfucker I told you so. I told you this shit was going to happen, and you stuck your hand in that fire anyway. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
is that the right time? No. But when you're passionate and you care about somebody and they do something completely stupid, you know what I mean? You just
Yeah.
it's a response. And it took me realizing that okay, I just hurt somebody that I care about. I had to I had to rectify that. And I had to learn from that. There's a time and a place for the I told you so's. And ain't
Well,
it.
yeah. Yeah. And a person also have to take accountability for their part in it. Um, Even if they're the one that's getting the healing, that's going through the journey, because like you said, sometimes we put things on ourselves. When you allow certain things, or you walk into certain things, and it hurts you and you have to heal from it, you got to do, you got to be real with yourself all the way around. Yes, this person may have did something to you that affected you, but did you see it coming? You know, um did you see the signs and ignored them? Did you see it and then continue to let it happen because of what you feel, or you thought you can change somebody or something? We have to take accountability. You know, oftentimes when people go through things, they're quick to blame everyone else and just the person who did it. But sometimes it's us.
Yeah, it
You know,
usually is.
and yeah,
We become our own worst nightmares, our own worst enemies, and that's, I guess that's just a part of us being us being human.
yes.
That's a
Hmm.
part of the human experience. I don't know any other way to look at it. Um, I do have a question in.
Okay.
This is from Tamika over in Newark, New Jersey. And she
Okay.
says, do you guys believe in the whole concept of shadow work?
Mhm. Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I you went out for a second.
Okay. The question was, do you guys believe in the concept of shadow work?
Um, I saw it. It's a journal that I seen this out. Um, where I mean, I do believe in it. Like we said, everything. You know, you have different steps throughout the journey. And being aware and going through the proper steps is important. I'm trying to see if the journal. It's a journal where you have like a list of things you're supposed to do, certain things a certain way, and kind of shadow how you want things to be. Are we talking about the same thing?
Not necessarily. Yeah, your shadow work is something a little bit different. But no, go ahead, finish your point.
Okay. So no, you go ahead because I'm trying to. I must be getting it wrong because somebody was showing me some type of book or something about shadow working, like shadowing what you want. You know, what's reflecting on what you want for your life to be. So we might be talking about. I mean, we're talking about two different things. So that's why I want to know, was she talking about um, that book, or if she was talking about something else?
Well, no, shadow work is just a tool. Like, it's a form of it's a process. It's a tool for therapy. Um, that book is pretty much like journals and other stuff you can use as a tool to help you get through whatever you're hurt. But it is a developmental process. That's where you have to become self-aware of the things that you keep, aka in the shadows. This is that part of your healing where you are forced to sit down and dig out and pull out and address the things that are going on deep inside of you. Childhood traumas, old past assaults, or just character issues that are preventing you from being reaching your full potential. It could be anything that caused you some form of trauma or some kind of pain that you keep in the shadows. You got to do the work to pull them out, address them,
Oh,
choke them out, and get them out of there. But
oh,
yeah, there's tons of
absolutely.
books. You can go on Amazon and get a million of those things. They're like journals, workbooks. Um, yeah, friend of the show, Nazia. She created one a year ago. So yeah,
Okay. Well, I
so
definitely do believe that it works. It does work because, like I said in the beginning, you have to dig deep, unpack some stuff, and figure out what the core issue is, of what you're going through. Because if you do temporary things, it's always going to come back around. But when you dig deep and you figure out what's the cause of it, and face it head on, then like I said, it won't, it won't affect you as much, or you'll be able to identify certain things that does trigger you and how to deal with it a different way. Because everybody deal with trauma different. A lot of times we as adults go through things and are the way we are because of past childhood traumas. I don't think people realize how much things affect us from our past that happens, because when you're younger and when you're children in your teenage years, until you're becoming an adult, those things that you go through kind of shape, how you look at the world, and how you deal with the world when you become an adult. uh the People have the misconception that time heals. Time doesn't always
Mm-hmm.
heal. It just get buried. And then you're wondering why, your relationships aren't working, or you can't keep a job, or how you can't interact with, certain people, or why you can't do things, um, why you're so angry, or why no matter how much you get things, you're still unhappy. That's because it's something that's way back that you done buried away, that you thought because it happened when you was a child or a teenager, and now you've grown, you can do what you want, and then it's gonna be your way, and you wondering why it's affecting you. You know, Sometimes you gotta go way back in the creeks. You gotta, you know, unpack it, blow the dust off, and figure it out. You're gonna have to relive through some things that you wish that you thought you'll never have to deal with again, or relive again. But you're gonna have to go through it, because you gotta figure it out. Because some things, you got people that never ever dealt with their trauma, and went through this all their life, been through certain things,
Yep.
and never fully happy, and always gonna have some type of pain, and wondering why you can't, connect with your children, or your family, or your mate, because you got that side that you hid. And just because the world don't see it, you can't hide from yourself.
Very true.
You still gotta live with it. Here I go again. But to answer your question, yes, I do believe that it works. I actually believe that it should be mandatory. Like that's some of the beginning steps. No skipping steps, to make sure, if you want to completely, heal, you have to go from, the first step to the last. Because you may always have to revisit it when you have children. You know, you will have to probably have to revisit it, because when you go through things as a child, when you have children, or when you start having children, those things come back up, because now you worried,
Yes, indeed.
because you went through it, and now you worry that your child gonna go through it, and sometimes that affects your parenting, because now you got this too tight of a leash on your child. Or some of y'all just no leash at all. Y'all just letting the kids run wild, because you're trying to do things different from when you was growing up, because you feel like that had something to do with what you've been through. And sometimes it's not. It may be everybody's case is different. Sometimes your upbringing put you in certain positions where you had went through some stuff, and sometimes you went through some stuff because unfortunately that's life, and it didn't have anything to do with your upbringing. But now,
Right.
you just have in your mind like, oh, because I went through this as a child, that, oh, I'm not going to do this when it comes to my child, and you end up causing a whole nother set of problems. Or some things you
Mm-hmm.
just can't, it's some things, it just happens. No way to predict it, there's no way to stop it, unfortunately, because that's the kind of world we live in, and that's just life. If everybody can predict when everything is going to go wrong or right in their life, and why they go wrong or right in their life, then everybody's world just be perfect, and that's not a reality. I'm sorry. You can answer the question, Hakim.
You I think you answered it for me, and I completely agree. Everything you said, it's a real thing. It's a real process. You have to be able to tap in whatever that looks like for you, whatever tools you may need. Whether if it could be a journal, you'd be surprised the power of good journaling and writing and documenting your emotional history, or seeing a therapist, or getting a life coach, or whatever it is. Talking to a mentor, your pastor, your best friend, your mom, your dad, granny, whoever, could be your significant other. Utilize every tool in the toolbox to get you through this process. So, yes, shadow work is real, and it's super important. Um, let's talk about emotional healing real quick. What are some of the things in your from your personal opinion? What are some of the things you think we need to do to get us through that emotional pain, so we can heal and get back on a horse?
um, Emotional healing. Well, first of all, you have to, um, as everything, acknowledge that it's an issue, and accepting that it's an issue, because acknowledging and accepting are two different things. You can acknowledge it and just be, oh, you're just not going to deal with it, but you have to accept it, and so you can deal with it, and you have to, you know, process what you're going through. A lot of people don't understand when you're not in the right emotional or mental state, that you can't think clear. You can't make rational decisions. Um, if you are not emotionally healed, then you are not going to know how to react to certain things. You know how we talked about on past shows where people, um, their reaction doesn't fit what they're going through. You know, um, and it's definitely hard to interact with people, like that when you're going through that. But you have to be able to, be mindful, being emotional healed. Part of that is being mindful of how you react or how you feel about certain things, why you feel about those, why you feel the way you feel about those things, so you can fix it. But you still have to understand that people are going to feel differently about certain things than you. That's the most important thing with any part of healing, is to understand that everyone is not going to feel or think, the way you think. Um, and so you have to have awareness. You have to have acknowledgement, acceptance. Acceptance. You have to be willing to go through that pain, because when you are going through your journey and you're talking about what you're going through, you got to let that pain go. You have to, if it has something to do with grieving, forgiving. I know we all aren't as forgiving, but the emotional part is, when I say forgiveness, I mean like forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself for holding it in and letting it you know grow. So that's what we do when we hold stuff in. We let it grow. It can start off as a pea and be a boulder, and we're hurting ourselves. And you have to be able to to move forward of what you're going through. And so, when you're emotionally healed, it increases your self awareness, it improves your relationships, you know, to open up your mind to be able to do more and be more open. And so, I mean, the mental and emotional is I mean, when you're not emotionally and mentally correct, it can mess up all parts of what you got going on. It can interfere with your day to day. That's why people go through depression. You know, and depression is a real thing, and it's something that you could deal with every day. Even the ones who smile every day go through depression. So, you there, Hakan? I don't talk to them death.
Yep, I'm here. Nope,
Oh.
I'm sorry. I had my mic muted and didn't realize
I
it.
don't talk to the death. I keep running my damn mouth so long.
Nah, you good. You good.
Yeah.
You hitting some important points, and nah, you know that emotional healing. You gotta have certain components in order to get through this process. And these are some of the things I learned from trial and error, therapy, talking to people who do this for a living, and them helping me learning from them, so I could, you know, help others. You got to acknowledge those hurts. The
Hmm.
first step is that personal accountability. You have to acknowledge what's hurting you and what role you played. Then, like I said, you got to take help. You got to get some help from people. Sometimes you aren't enough. If there's someone out there who
Right.
can help you, then allow them to help you. And it's okay to take a break. It's okay to unplug, right? It's okay to, I'm not going to do social media this week. I need to focus on X, Y, and Z because my head ain't right. My heart ain't right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Hmm.
And you got to have patience. You know, you got to have patience with yourself. You got to have patience with others because think about it. How many times you've not been yourself and you're hurting, whether through a physical pain, emotional pain, or mental anguish, and someone is just being their normal selves, and you just snapping off because you're just
Hmm.
not in the mood for it today. You know, you got to be patient with yourself and others, and you gotta identify. It goes back to number one with the acknowledging your emotions. You got to be able to identify the cause of the pain. It's okay. You're gonna have to spend that block on those emotions,
Hmm. Yep.
and meditate. Think, meditate, breathe, pause, just allow yourself to go through the process.
Yeah.
That
Take a
those are my
moment.
things. Yeah. Those, believe me, these 6 steps work. They kept me from climbing the clock tower many a times. I need them right now as we speak. When we get off this line, I'm gonna do this shit myself because we all go through things. You know what I mean? And we got to be able to acknowledge it, deal with it, get any help we can, pause, breathe, meditate, sort out the problem. That's it.
Yeah. And it's okay to tell people, you know, I'm unplugging today, or I need a moment. I'm taking a mental health day, or like when people call me or want to hang out and stuff. I'm like, I'm not in a good headspace. I'm gonna keep my energy over here. I'm not gonna, you know, interfere with that good energy y'all got over there when I need a moment for myself. I gotta get it together, or I gotta, kind of reflect. I got some thinking to do. It's okay to tell people you need a moment, or because you know what triggers you. When you're not in a good mood. When you're going through it emotionally, or whatever. It's that being honest, not only with yourself but with others. And y'all people, when people need a moment, let them have a moment. Stop telling people what they, because people would be so to you. Oh, you need to come out. Let's go dancing and drinking. It may help sometimes, but those things are temporary. But sometimes people just need to be in their own space, and just have that moment of peace and serenity. Like Hakim said, meditation is life. I'm telling you. So when I say I need a moment, I need a moment. When I'm ready to go out and celebrate after I have my moment, I'll let you know. You know, um,
Hmm.
because sometimes we often um advise others or decide ourselves to be doing these temporary, things to get over something. And it's just that temporary. Because once the night is over or the event is over, now you back alone in your thoughts.
Hmm.
It ain't go nowhere. That was temporary. Um, but
Hmm.
yeah. So
Good. You just touched on something that has been that has been me on my stump and on my you know screaming to the rooftops for years now. You cannot smoke and drink that shit away. You cannot strip
now
club
you
that
got
shit away.
now you got new
You can't
habits, a
bar
new
hop it.
problem.
Yeah, you can't bar hop that shit away. You can't club that shit away. You can't dick and pussy that shit away. You got to go through it hurts. It's anguish. It's annoying. It's stressful. It's lonely. Let me tell you something. One of the most prolific things I heard someone tell me about a year ago is chronic pain is some of the most loneliest things you're going to go through. And I
Mhm.
said, well, yeah, hell yeah, because nobody understands what I'm going through but me, unless you're going through the same thing I'm going through. You know what I mean?
Right.
And a lonely mind and a lonely heart is subject to all sorts of fuckery. This is where I go back to the last steps we went through of dealing with pain and patience, identifying the issues, sitting your ass still. Even when it hurts, you sit still because you're getting stronger. You're
Hmm.
getting better. You're going through this process of hurt and pain. So, like you said, we're picking up additional problems. I've been through it. I'm secure enough in myself to be able to identify my triggers, my flaws, and I understand one of the main issues I have is I have an addictive personality. In the multiverse somewhere, there's a crackhead Hakim. There's a fucking junkie. There's a fucking. I know at one point I might have been addicted to gambling. Cause what the fuck am I doing in here every week, every Friday? Oh no, I ain't going there no more. When I was able to see it, I stopped doing it because it started off as, oh, I just need to do something to kill time. I just need to do something to take my mind off things. No, that's what movies are for. That's what video games is for. That's what porn's for.
Hmm.
But you know what I mean? But when you are out there just moving around aimlessly for the sake of, oh, I just don't want to sit in the house or I just don't want to do this, but you're hurting inside, you're just masking it. You're putting lipstick on an ugly ass pig,
Hmm.
you know? And we got to do better. Um we covered um healing mentally. What are some of the things you think are some of the what's the process from your perspective for healing mentally?
Whew, feeling mentally, identifying what your issue is and how something affects you, how you react to things, um, how how you see things, um, Healing mentally is having being able to have a clear mind, um, being able to be focused, being able to be once again aware. Um, uh, because like I said, because the mental the mental a lot of people, you know, push things back or to the side and don't understand how they're affecting themselves mentally. You know, when you're going through it mentally and you're stressed, you know, you're you have everything bottled up. So any other little thing that you add on to in your life, any issue, any problem, anything you have to do, it piles onto it. You know, you could be in shambles. It could be the littlest thing that's put on the top of all those other big things, and it's gonna crumble. You're gonna be no good. If you're not mentally good, you're gonna be no good in any parts of your life. You can't focus on your kids. You know, you angry, you know, snapping, or you're emotional, you're crying, um, you're frustrated. You can't focus on your work. You don't have the patience like you're supposed to have. Your mind is all over the place. So you have to acknowledge those things. You have to be able to dig deep and see what is messing with your mental. If it's your be honest with yourself. Because some people are in relationships that is mentally draining, and you're there, oh, because I've been with them for a long time, or because I love them, or you feel like you need somebody, and that's not the case. You know, you're just afraid of what your life is going to be afterwards. It could be other reasons to why you're holding on. Trauma, you know, when you're depressed, when you have anxiety, when you're stressed, you know, sometimes you kind of do that trauma bonding thing too. Trauma bonding is
Mm,
real. Trauma
mm.
bonding is real. It makes you feel like you need somebody, or this person is going through certain things just like me. Oh, I had a bad upbringing. This person had a bad upbringing. So let's bond. This person is going to understand me like nobody else because they went through certain things. Y'all not doing any work. Y'all been each other's crutch. You know, y'all justifying each other's behavior because when people are traumatized, trauma bonding, it's like, oh, I'm angry. I can understand why he's angry, you know, or, you know, I can see why she does the things she does because I do it too. Instead of both of you guys coming together to be like, okay, we need help. We need, you know, counseling. We need to talk to somebody. We need to figure it out. We need to overcome this, you know, because they want to justify, you know, why their behaviors are their behaviors, you know.
Right.
So whew, it's so much there's so much trauma bonding out here, and people really don't um really want to believe it or see it. But it's, believe me, it's there. I say it all the time. Um, you know, uh, but healing mentally, self care. You know, that mean your you know your physical, your mental. Whether you need counseling stuff, sleeping. I know it's hard. Ain't that still calling the kettle black with the sleeping part? But you have to. I mean, sometimes it's different reasons to why we're not getting proper sleep. It could
Mm-hmm.
be health issues. It could be, you know, it's some stuff on your mind, and it's going to bother you until you get it together. Um, you know, you have to be relax. You know, healing mentally is relaxing, taking those breaks, you know, having your priorities together, setting goals and working towards them. because everything is going to be a progress. We could say we can give a list of 100 things that we want to do, but what need to be done first? The things that got to be done first. What steps are you going to do to achieve those goals? Holding yourself accountable when you don't do what you're supposed to do to achieve certain goals. Um, you know, changing the way you do certain things. You're changing your mentality. Being positive. You know, um, having this. Do your affirmations and just drill that stuff in your head. You know, train yourself. Because sometimes we don't keep certain things up. We fall back into those old habits. Like I said, everything is a habit, whether it's good or bad. When you get used to doing something, good or bad, it becomes a habit. When you get used to not doing something, good or bad, it becomes a habit because you're not doing it. So when you train yourself to think a certain way, to be a certain way, to react to things a certain way, to take that time out for yourself. Put it in your schedule. We have a schedule for everything. When you want to go
Oh
out
yeah.
and meet the girls
Right?
or meet with the guys, you make sure you do that once a week, right? So make sure you
Right.
take some time out for yourself. If you got to cut off all your phones, cut your notification. That's what I started doing recently. I used to never. Whoever and everybody would always had a way to get in contact with me because I'm the go-to person. I got to make sure I'm there for everybody. Anybody can call me at any given time. I had to start putting my phone on silent after a certain time, you know, because once you hit them notifications start coming up, you start checking your phone. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I
I,
ain't there
I, I
yet.
need,
I ain't
I,
quite
I,
there yet.
I got to do it at night because, and then when you're not sleeping, you got to figure out why you're not sleeping. Is the devices keeping you woke? Is it them notifications? Are you strolling on social media too much? You know, um, you gotta kind of change certain things, you know, mentally, so you can figure out what's going on.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
important.
counseling is very important. And stop having a notion that something is wrong with somebody when they're doing counseling or seeing a psychiatrist or going to a therapist. That's why we doing this show. Uh, we big on mental health. You got to talk to somebody, and sometimes you need to talk to somebody that don't know you, somebody that's going to listen, somebody that's there to help you, you know, and somebody that you can be comfortable with. I don't care if you got to change your therapist 4 or 5 times. You have to be comfortable with that person, and don't go in there thinking, "Oh, that person worked for you, so they're gonna be telling you what you want to hear." No, they're gonna tell you what you need to hear. So you got to be ready to hear some hard truths about yourself that you might to not be really ready to face. The
Big
whole idea is
facts.
you're supposed to be learning. Here I go again, I can, but go ahead.
I mean, good lord, what do we get? I mean, you covered a lot. Um, Healing mentally, it's I struggle sometimes because I can go through a heartache, an emotional hurt, but it ain't nothing like a mental hurt. When you
Mm,
are under severe anxiety, severe depression, you don't have the mental acuity or strength to deal with all the other shit, the other aspects, because you got the mental, emotional, spiritual, and
mm-hmm,
physical hurt, which all require healing at some point. And when you're mentally jacked up, you can't get your head around trying to get your soul right. You can't get your
mm-hmm,
head around getting up and going to physical therapy because your leg hurt. You can't get your head around, oh goddamn, she broke up with me, and I need to. keep it going. I keep moving, and you just shut down. You just go
Yeah.
through this process of hurt, and you just get stuck. So I was able to identify a couple of stages we go through.
Mhm.
Um, we go through that. I can't believe this bullshit is happening to me. Why is this happening to me? This that denial stage, right?
Mhm.
then it's then it's the anger. You mad because this shit happened to you. You pissed off. You want to. That's where all the toxic energy comes out when someone hurts you. You start cussing at them, calling them all kinds of names, what have you. Then
Mhm.
here comes the bargaining where you're trying to come to some kind of agreement, or you're trying to reconcile. You're trying to you're grasping at straws at this point. Then you move on to depression. It's hitting you
Mm.
now. You don't woke up the next day and whatever you had is gone, or it feels like it's gone. You think it's gone. You're just going through the motions. But
Mhm.
then comes the most important part, the acceptance. Because once you get to the place of acceptance, that's when the healing begins.
Yes.
Okay, that thing that I denied, that pissed me off, that I tried to reason with, that made me feel down, it is real, it is a thing. I acknowledge it. I can't do anything about it. All I can do is work on me, get better, and move on.
All
That is
right.
mental healing. I mean, if anybody has anything to add to that, throw it in the chat.
Yeah.
But it's super important to pay attention to yourself and what roles you're playing in your own healing. Because sometimes we are we are delaying the healing. You know what I mean? Whether
Mhm.
it's that old boyfriend, old girlfriend that you keep hanging around, if they're not providing something that you can point to and say, that makes me feel good about their place in my life. If they're still causing you pain on a regular, because we like to spin the block, we like to keep going back, right? We keep going back to that
Mhm.
same person or that same place or that same thing that keeps causing us pain. There's some of us who keep going back to the job. We literally got a bad back. We need surgery, but we keep going back to the job that caused the bad back and caused the need of surgery.
Mhm.
It's it's we got to be able to address, acknowledge, and make the proper adjustments.
Yeah. And then you gotta ask
Um,
yourself why. Why I keep doing it? Why I keep going back? Why I keep allowing it? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Especially if it ain't worth it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, we got a comment here in the chat from a little while ago. Um, Friend of the show, Mr. Dedrick. Um, he says self reflection and accountability is a part of the first steps to healing. You have to acknowledge you have issues you need to rid yourself of. I agree.
Right. Because it ain't like somebody can tell you over and over again, you need to fix this, that, and the third. Until you know, till you feel like it's an issue, till you feel like you have to change it, you're not gonna change it. I mean, because and I also say this too, is because a lot of times the person that is doing the damage and is not on the receiving end of it, they don't see anything wrong.
Mhm.
You could come and you can tell them this is hurting me, this is why, but some people gotta feel it. You gotta
Mhm.
remove yourself. Some people they it don't matter. If it's not them and they're not feeling it, don't matter. Somebody telling you something and then also telling you why they feel that way should be enough, you know. Um, because they're just not, saying, "Oh, I'm not happy with this," and don't have no valid reasons to why. Um, some things that might not bother me bothers other people, and I have to understand that. So I have to know that, okay, when it comes to this is off limits with this person because it bothers them. Why it bothers them? I'm gonna ask if you're ready to talk about it. Some people might not be ready to talk about it, but you still have to respect it because once again, it's some things that they done buried that they thought they done got away from, and they haven't properly dealt with it and healed from it. And it bothers them. And when they're ready to unpack it, if they feel, like you are a safe space for them to help for you to go through that journey with them, they'll come to you. They'll let you know. It takes time.
I completely agree. We got another comment from Lady Ren Divine. It says gaslighting increases the hurt too these days.
Mm.
Woo. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. A lot of
Yeah,
y'all are dealing with master gaslighters.
it, absolutely. Um, whew, and sometimes people, they're so used to it they don't see it, and sometimes somebody else got to bring it to it. When you're
Mhm.
outside of looking in and you have no emotional, connection to this person, you can see it. But somebody that's like, mentally, emotionally, you know, attached to this person, they don't
Mhm.
see it at all.
Facts.
Um, so they did the dirt, but they telling you shouldn't feel the way you feel, or because they did you dirty, you're the reason why they did you dirty, or why they did something to you. It's mm-mm. And that's what we have to be able to be aware of certain things, because I see it all the time. And now you sitting there questioning yourself, and you sitting there going through, unnecessary hurt and pain, and allowing it because you feel like you're the problem because you got somebody. Chill.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. It's we have to really put some extra focus on our own healing. At the end of the day, it's all about you. It's all you're the one in pain. How you deal with
Mhm.
it, who you help, who you get to help you deal with it, how you help others with it. Healing is personal. It don't get any more personal than that. I mean, you think about it. You're in pain. You don't get it more
Mhm.
personal than I'm in pain. So you have to do what is needed to get the proper help and address things yourself. Sometimes you can do it
Right.
alone. Most times you can't. Be smart enough to be able to know which is which.
Right.
So,
And be mindful, um, because sometimes you want somebody to help you, but they're just not capable of doing it. And depending on the situation, don't fault them for it. Some people aren't equipped, to help people in the way they need to be helped.
hmm
Um, and that's why you have professionals, or you find someone that is equipped to do it. Sometimes we want our mates or our family to be there in a certain way that they're just not equipped to. Or when you have someone that's going through their own things and they're trying to, you know, heal from them and go through their own process, um, and you want them to be there for you, they're just not, emotionally or mentally available because they're going through their own stuff. So we have to be mindful of that too. Some people, and I'm one of those people, that can put their feelings to the side to help someone else, which is not always a good thing because now once I help you with your issues and your things, now now I got to deal with mine. So now I got to kind of regroup because I'm drained. I don't helped you with yours. Um, but everybody is not able to do that, and it's okay because just like you should want the best for you, as they may want the best for you, you have to want the best for them too. You know.
Facts. Yep. You have anything else that you need to unpack or address on this particular topic?
No, I
Did you
just
hit
want
everything?
everybody to I just want everybody to just keep in mind that your journey is just that, your journey. Um, it's no time limit on your journey. It's no blueprint to how things are going to be in your journey as far as what will work and what won't work because everyone is different and you just have to be able to be willing to do the work and be in it for the um for the long haul.
Yes. I completely agree. This is that time of the year where some people are going through something. There's supposed to be healing, but um, we didn't. This purpose was not to serious you out. This purpose was to purpose of the show was to give you some hope. Let you know you're not alone. You're not the only people going through it. Others are going through it. We're here for you. And keep on pushing. Don't give up. Got to stay strong.
Yes, get a good support system, and take your time.
Yep.
Believe in you because you can do it.
Yes, indeed.
Any shout outs before we head out?
Yeah. Shout out to everyone who tuned in tonight. Miss Yasmin Darcy, um, Brother Dedrick, Kat, Tish, JoJo, Lady Wren, Tamika with her question, Miss Shay King, everybody who tuned in tonight, who you know, who decided to take this healing journey with us tonight. We appreciate y'all, and we will see. Oh, shout out to Auntie Sugar too, who was checking us out over there. I think on YouTube. So we appreciate you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know, share, like, comment. That's all. Appreciate it. Um, Detrick, I need a menu. I need a menu. Oh, see, Auntie Sugar, she here.
Okay, we see you on Facebook. We appreciate you. Um, we appreciate everybody. You know,
Yes.
I am happy, Queen. This is my 701st show that I have produced, and
See, we
so
need we need claps.
I'm patting myself on the ass right now.
That,
So
as you should.
so
Wow, congratulations.
and
That's
well and more than over 500 were from Queen Vi.
oh,
So thank you so much. We've
no
done
problem.
that many shows together. Damn.
Wow. Right.
Damn. So
Yeah, we got an anniversary coming up soon.
yes, we do. So we gotta plan that. We're gonna hopefully get some guests in here before the year's out. Um, yeah, we got some fun stuff planned for the rest of the year. Um, but I'm an old man and got to get ready to take my ass down. It's
Okay.
that time of the day, time of the night.
So on that note, thanks for tuning in to Queen Vi's Reality Talk. Until next time, good night, everybody.
Peace, y'all.